What's going on, guys? My name's Spence.
And I'm Mitch.
And we're two brothers that really love King of the Hill. And today we're in the second season. And I consider the second season to be extremely good, better than the first. And I can't wait to discuss some of the episodes that are coming up.
It's for sure better than the first season. And the episode we have to start it out with is How to Fire a Rifle Without Really Trying. And it's a Bobby and Hank episode, a father and son episode, which are some of my favorites. So here we go.
I love that it has also Bobby excelling in something. Hank's usually the one that is always excelling in comparison to Bobby. And in this episode, it turns things on his head where Bobby is a crack shot, but Hank, on the other hand, struggles.
And Hank struggles with this shot because, as we find out, his World War II hero father took Hank's rifle training a little too seriously.
But we see Bobby nails it with the shooting gallery and wins himself a giant stuffed bunny.
The children's gun section at Megalomart.
Oh, yes. That is definitely something that is uniquely American.
Yeah, for sure.
Being able to go down to your local giant box store and be able to pick up a gun. I guess it depends on what part of the States you're from, but in Texas, for sure.
I think it was a children's gun aisle.
Jesus. But the gun Bobby ends up getting here is a Marlin 22 pump-action rifle. And this is very common in competitive shooting, and also it's used for hunting. That's what the maker, Marlin, they're mainly known for hunting rifles and competitive shooting rifles. And they've been making guns since the 19th century, well over 100 years. And their styles, you can still get them the same way they made them back in 1895.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool stuff, I think. I've always been a gun nerd.
And here we have Hank and Bobby going to the gun club where they can pay $5 to do the public shoot, or they can become members for free. And Hank chooses the $5.
It was a smart choice, and I love the rat as the trophy.
Yeah.
Just a great subtle humor. And Bobby nails it right down the center. That's very impressive. I can't do anything like that.
Everything says it all.
Yeah. I've been a okay shot, but never been spectacular at it.
I was always pretty good. Definitely a lot better than our dad. He sucks.
He's never been a shooting guy.
No,
Yeah.
He's never been rooting or tooting.
I love that they got Bobby excelling here at something over Hank, and it's just such a unique, refreshing change of pace that we don't really get a lot in the show.
I think caught and screamed in Hank's face when he tried to learn anything.
Again, it's just such a wonder he actually grew up to be a productive member of society.
Yeah, it was different back then.
Yeah. And Hank can't hit the broadside of a barn, can't even get one shot on target.
No. He got the shakes.
It's one of the things I've always loved about King of the Hill is that they always seem to actually take whatever subject that they're talking about seriously.
Yeah, that's really nice as a viewer, too, when everything clicks together like that. I've always appreciated that as well.
Yeah, because you actually learn something, right, when you watch the show.
It's something like competitive shooting that is a real thing.
Yeah, I know it's probably not big up here, but I imagine, especially in Texas, it's probably the real deal down there.
Like, yeah, I'm sure people who spend obscene amounts of money on it.
Oh, I love this guy. This is one of my favorite random characters ever in King of the Hill.
The thumbs up for amputees guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was loaded is not an acceptable excuse. I wasn't there, or I never met those people, are better excuses.
And I love that Bobby's so proud of getting that certification. He should be proud. Cotton was just begging for the war. Just,
Yeah, praying that his son would have to go off to fight in a war.
even when he's young, Dale still wears the cap all the time.
I didn't even notice that.
Finally, we have the guest star of the episode. This guy's the famous actor Wallace Shawn, and I always remember him as the wine in front of me guy from Princess Bride.
Now, a clever man would put the poison into his own goblet because he would know that only a great fool would reach for what he was given. I'm not a great fool, so I can clearly not choose the wine in front of you. But you must have known I was not a great fool. You would have counted on it. so I can clearly not choose the wine in front of me.
Yeah, that's what I remember him
Yep.
from too. He's
He
got
was
one
in-
of those voices that you just recognize instantly.
Exactly. He plays a sports psychologist and trying to find a way to better Hank's aim. And he says that he always knows that the losers will come early in the morning when there's nobody else there.
That's right. They're all predictable.
I can definitely empathize with the position Hank is in. He does not want to be the one to let his son down.
Yeah, it's got to be a tough position to be in, and he also is fighting with embarrassing himself too. Left with less of a man in somewhere like Texas, where gun culture is enormous.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we get one of Dale's quintessential lines.
Guns don't kill people. The government does.
It's true.
They have a mini debate about guns. And of course, Dale also asks the infamous question of,
Let me ask you this. A guy breaks into your house, but you don't have a gun. How are you going to shoot him?
Hank just goes and breaks Bobby's heart, saying he can't do it. He can't shoot in the competition.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then Bobby throws his most prized possession out. When I watched it recently, I thought that was quite sad.
And he, like a kid would, completely blames himself.
Yeah,
Like he thinks that he's the one screwing up when he is doing absolutely nothing wrong.
and Bobby doesn't even care about winning or anything. He just wants to be out there with his old man.
And of course, Peggy initially didn't want Bobby to shoot, but now when she sees how much it means to him, she's completely changed her position.
She's changed her tune. Now she wants, and now she
Yeah.
sees it as an opportunity to spend for Hank to bond with his son, just like any good mom picked up on.
Peggy tells Hank that she still loves him even when he says that he can't shoot.
That's the big thing. Speaks to the gun culture for sure, for sure. Peggy had to talk Hank into going and doing the counseling.
So Hank's back in the game. He does the right thing.
He's stepping up,
And he's gonna. I really like this scene a lot where he teaches Hank how to become a better shot. And a lot of people think when it comes to doing activity that requires a lot of skillful precision movements of your body and a lot of focus, a lot of people think that when you bring everything to the conscious level, it will make everything easier. But that's actually the last thing you want to do. You want to try and make everything unconscious and clear your mind as much as possible. And one of the ways you do that is through visualization of success. And that's exactly what he's telling Hank to do here, basically, is to clear your mind, get rid of all that crap. Like he starts blabbing on about his father.
I remember me as a boy, my dad behind me yelling, and I always let him down. I was so scared of...
Hank, please, you're wasting valuable session time.
And the psychologist is like, we don't have time for that crap. Doesn't mean anything.
Hank's having a psychological breakthrough.
Yeah. And he's basically telling him when it comes to these kind of very focused tasks in a kind of sports or competitive environment, yeah, you just got to find a way to focus. And a good way is to visualize success. And then, like he says, give him like an auditory cue, and that helps increase your focus.
I always thought that Hank was hilarious. Prepare for top speed. I love that one.
Prepare for top speed.
Woo!
Yeah, and it works. And there is a scene at the start of the episode where Hank's trying to tell Bobby how to throw the ball, and he's like, you gotta stick out your arm and bring it back and wheel it around. And that just brings all these little motions to the conscious level, and it makes everything harder. It basically just clutters everything up.
Golf is like that too.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason. I don't know if we've played golf in a while, but I have no practice swing method. And it comes down to this, really, that I visualize myself hitting the ball successfully. And it's very consistent when I can actually get that focus, but getting that focus sometimes is extremely difficult.
Oh, for sure.
I love the shoot the stranger under the bed routine. I wonder if that's a real competitive, like an actual shooting competition thing they drew inspiration from. No, it's just a gag.
Yeah, it's got to be a satirical gag. Cotton shows up, though, to the shooting competition to instill his confidence in Hank.
Exactly. Just the worst possible thing that could happen. Because then he is going to get all up in his head and be thinking about the past and thinking about his dad insulting him. And it's going to be hard to get that concentration and focus back.
If not impossible.
Yeah. I think it's great the psychologist showed up to the contest, too. He's really dedicated to his patient.
Yeah, I'll say for the one guy who's had one session.
Yeah. Hank, of course, hoping that his competition will choke.
We don't want to win that way, son. Dang. I like this part, too, where he's having a conversation with himself in his own head. That's relatable.
You know what to do, not just for you, but for Bobby. So focus, stop talking to yourself, and do it. You're still talking.
And he chokes, and Bobby doesn't care at all, which is awesome.
If you notice there, Dale actually bet on Hank.
Yes, of course. Dale bets on Hank.
Yeah.
He does bet on his friend. Yeah.
And Bobby's thrilled about coming in second place. He's over the moon.
And I feel like that's exactly how a kid would react. They bounce back pretty quickly.
Oh, for sure. Been done any competitions or anything before. Second place is pretty sweet.
Bobby's completely forgotten about the fact that Hank choked. Didn't even think about it for a second. And yeah, even though Hank was extremely stressed out about it.
And that's the thing about anxiety, though, is you can't really control it.
Yeah, it's hard to control. Any case, let's wrap her up here. What score are you going to give this one, Mitch?
This one's a 9.
I'd say not 8.5.
An 8.5?
But yeah, 8.5. Still pretty good. I don't think it's quite in that upper echelon of being like a full 9, but it's an incredibly solid episode. And I think is based in a lot of very interesting real world material.
It's got a great psychological aspect to it that I appreciated a lot more as an adult than I did in my first round through.
Yeah. When you're a kid, it's all about the thrill of the shooting competition.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, that's going to wrap us up for now. I want to thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching the first episode of season 2, and we'll see you on the next one.
Take her easy, guys. Bye for now.
You're never gonna be a war hero like me if you shoot like that. No wonder that kid from the playground stole your pail. He knows you can't shoot.
I want my binky back.
You want your binky back? You gotta come in firing.